What's up, guys?
Alex, I think this is pro fight week number 32 for you or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, what is the feel ahead of a big fight?
Honestly, this one a little more routine than normal. I'm back at the Apex during COVID fight like 5 times in a row. Then got to hit the road, and that was fun. Made me realize how much I like a crowd. But no, this is like a cool martial arts experience. Just the whole idea of the Apex. To build a big warehouse to host fights in, really cool. But I'm happy to be back. Trained my butt off for this one. Not a short notice fight, so I had a full fight camp, which is great. But also, like by the end of it, I'm just like ready to fight and be done with training. So I'm at that point now and ready to rock and roll.
You stay so busy with coaching, with commentating, with training, fighting, and you've always kind of just approached this as like, hey, man, I'm just here to, I don't think I'm going to be a champ. I mean, have you surpassed your expectations into where you ever thought you'd be in life?
Yeah, so, this is before Dana White looking, no, I guess it was after Dana White looking for a fight, but before Contender, I got that short notice call to the UFC and just like didn't really expect it to happen, at least not like prior to like the Legacy title. So I had no expectations, and then when I got signed to the UFC, still didn't really have any expectations, and I got my second contract, then third contract, and then like double-digit wins. So no, I've definitely achieved, a lot, but I still have things that I'm looking to achieve. Like I used to have a goal of 20 fights, but now I have a goal of 20 wins, so I got some work to do.
That's awesome. I wonder though, in some ways, has that been freeing? Because you look at the success that you're having right now, right? I mean, is it freeing a little bit? Maybe if you don't necessarily put those pressures on yourself, but just go kind of enjoy the experience, so to speak.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people ask why I fight, and it's like strictly for the experience, for like the emotional experience. I don't rely on the money like at all, so it's all a bonus. I have a job and business at home that like I can plan all my financial action with. So yeah, fighting's it's a fun bonus. And it's never come with any excessive stress. I've seen guys on like the local scene who would fight to pay the bills, and you can't do that. It adds too much stress to wins and losses. I'll be honest, being almost 20 fights deep in the UFC, 7 contracts deep, the win bonuses are nice, and I've got one for like the last 6 or 7 fights in a row. So I plan on keeping that streak alive for sure.
Like it. Know what a fan you are of the sport, breaking it down. Joaquin, what do you see in him as a fighter? Obviously a dangerous guy, but you've been in there with some dangerous guys.
Yeah, I fought a lot of guys like him. Thankfully coming off a Southpaw fight camp, but nothing to underestimate. The dude's a beast. I trained my butt off for this one. Thankfully, we had a big old crop of welterweights over at Florida, so I've been training with some really good guys. And then when I'm in Houston, a lot of really good welterweights and 85ers. Zach Reese, you guys saw him fight on the Contenders. I've been training with him a lot. And no, it's been great. Then all the guys at my camp as well, man. It's been nothing but great training partners. I have a good problem in life. I have like more training sessions in a week than my body can handle. Back in the day, I had to like struggle to find training sessions, but now I have to pick and choose the best ones, and it's a good choice.
I love it. Last thing for me, you win here. What is the plan? Like I said, I know this isn't, primary job number one. You got coaching and tournaments to go do and things like that. So what's the plan here? Do you need some time off? Are there names on the horizon? What do you think you get here with a win?
Man, it really depends. There's like a cliche, don't plan a fight ahead. So I'm really focusing on Saturday. And then depending on, how the body feels, the outcome of the fight, all that action, I'd like to turn around as fast as possible. I've noticed there's a 5-month cycle with welterweights. Like pretty much every 5 months we get booked. If I could, shave that down to every 3 months, that'd be awesome. So I'm looking to stay active, especially now. I feel like I'm truly in my prime. I got another 3 or 4 good hard years of doing this, and my body durability has always held up really well. And so keep them running. I'm not looking ahead too much, but I know there's a card in Austin, Texas in December. It'd be cool to get a third one in this year, but I'll make that decision on Sunday.
Hey, Alex. I just wanted, obviously Fury has, like you said, Zachary's got a contract. I just wanted to know, like, who are some prospects that fans should be looking out for in Fury right now?
Man, Fury's fun to watch. I was telling who was headlining? My boy Julius Holmes fights at Florida. So I was like, hey, there are some Fury main events that are like, in sync, in caliber with, like UFC underfight cards. I was like, so don't undersell this success. And my boy Jules got a great second round Darce choke. It's his second time main eventing in Oklahoma. So I'm gonna be very biased here and talk about my teammates, but Julius Holmes, he'll be in the UFC. He's a big old strong welterweight. I think he's 9-2 now, maybe 10-2. And then Jacoby Smith, he's solid too. I trained a lot with him. I hadn't trained with him prior to this camp. And that dude's a beast. He learns everything so fast. His wrestling's like otherworldly. I think he's 7-0 if I'm not mistaken. So he's a shot away. And then Nick Piccanini as well. I mean, he's a beast. And then I even got one of my guys, Sean Kennard. He's 2-0. He's an 85. He's a big old strong 85er, biggest beard in MMA. But man, he hit a brutal TKO. His guy actually couldn't answer the bell. And then beyond that, I have a lot of amateur prospects. Like one guy 5-1, one guy 5-0, both fighting for belts pretty soon. So we have a couple of cool generations coming up. But yeah, any Fury main card's awesome to watch. And I really enjoy calling the fights there. I get to really understand like the competition in Houston, and I can talk MMA all day long. I know John Morgan's been doing some commentary himself. It's a lot of fun, especially if you know the material well. And like I teach it at the gym, I use it in the cage, and then I explain it cage side. So I mean, I feel like I understand all aspects pretty well.
Awesome, thank you. And I was going for the Sean Kennard look today. So
Hey, my man, yeah, shaved head, big beard. I like it.
Looks over here. You mentioned some of your teammates there. One of your teammates from Gracie Baja, the Woodlands, Ricky Turcios, he came off a win in November. Have you heard of when he might want to return to the octagon?
Yeah, so we are talking about matchmaking very actively for him. I know he had seen Sean at the Noche event and told him he was ready to rock and roll. So we're waiting on a date, and I like combed through the roster of the bantamweights who like weren't booked yet or haven't been booked in a while. And yeah, he and myself and you were all waiting for a name and a date. But yeah, Rick's the man. He's like me. He stays super active. He's holding down the fort while I'm gone. But yeah, I can't wait to see him fight. Man, Ricky's awesome. Has such a good polarity to him, a good pull from like the South American crowd, the Asian crowd, and the United States crowd, and he gets recognized a lot, man. I'll tell you, the South American fight fans, they are the best fight fans. Like I've been recognized more by South American friends than anyone else. But yeah, I can't wait for Ricky to fight. Dude's a fireball. I had done 8 rounds on Tuesday before I flew out, and I had him with me rotating in. He's just a scrambler, man. He is impossible to hold down, and he's a fun guy to work with.
I agree with the fan statement there, but how's it been like seeing his development, like from when he was young to winning the Ultimate Fighter, and now obviously being a UFC fighter?
Yeah, man, it's awesome. So I got my striking coach sitting behind you guys, Matt Wald. He and myself and Ricky have been in the mix since we were all teenagers. Ricky's 16, Matt I think 17, and me 18, and I'm 33 now. So we're like one of the only two, Matt and I, like duo corners in Houston who've like stayed the course. And we're the only 2 guys out of Houston to have 2 like homegrown UFC fighters in a gym we started at and we're still at now. But yeah, Ricky's the man. He always works so hard, and he just fights his butt off. But he's always been a pace guy. Like anytime we would do sprints or any strength and conditioning, he would always come in first place. The dude just got a tank on him. We always made a joke, if he did Survivor, he would win. And one time he did an in-studio version of Fear Factor, and he won it. Fear is not a factor for that man, so very cool.
Thank you.
Right here. I want to follow up with what Harold just said. What are some of the similarities that you see in Ricky that you see in yourself?
Man, we're very different fighters. We both do a lot of jiu-jitsu, both jiu-jitsu black belts. He uses his a bit more than I do. One of the only guys to pull off consistent X-guard sweeps in MMA. But I think just like living the martial arts lifestyle the most is the best. Like he's one of the coaches at my gym as well. So we're in there every day. When we're not training our butts off, we're teaching. And I feel like we're both at like a very high level of preparation in terms of our like diet. He works with a PI a lot. And strength and conditioning is like a must. You guys will see it, man. He's put on some size too. And yeah, so I think just like living the martial arts lifestyle and the high level of preparation has really like kind of consumed our lives for the better. And we can both see differences.
Earlier you had talked about Survivor and Fear Factor. I was just curious, how would you do in a scenario like that?
Oh man, I don't know. Probably not great. I try to conspire against people in Survivor. And then in Fear Factor, I wouldn't want to eat gross stuff. So I'll make my prize money by fighting.
Awesome. Thank you. Good luck Saturday.
Cool. Thanks, guys.